Welcome back to another video. Derek here, talking to you about, in today's topic, the MELD protocol. Right before Thanksgiving 2023, we're going to be doing an update video on MELD. Okay, the MELD platform, the app, the blockchain. There's so much going on with MELD that can sort of boggle your mind. And there's a lot of information out there that might not be the most accurate. Everybody's got their own opinions, and I have mine. I'll share them with you, and that is to not take my word in stone. Things are always changing. Things are always maneuvering and moving. I'm going to shed some light on my thoughts about the project overall, some of the inside baseball as far as my mind works. But do your own research and your own due diligence. And by no way, shape, or form should you take this video as financial advice to get invested in the project and what have you. I don't really work together with the MELD protocol. I have been participating in the project as a delegator since the ISPO. Gosh, that must be around 3 years ago now, and been an investor, supporter, accumulator ever since. So I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe in the project. I wouldn't be sharing this video if I didn't believe in the project. And I know that there are lots of people who are negatively looking at the project. So, right, take this video as a tool to do your own research and your own due diligence. You can add this to your work. Okay, so we're going to look at the project. Right now, I'm going to take you to their website, because the first thing that I look at, most people look at price. And I think that that's problematic. People are concerned mostly about price. When price goes down, people freak out. They're nervous. They invest their money in something and it goes down. Obviously, you're nervous. If MELD right now was going on a upward tear in price action, increasing the volume, of course, there wouldn't be as much concern, right? The only concern would be, man, I should have grabbed a little bit more MELD back when the prices were really low. So again, not financial advice, but it looks like MELD's at a pretty low place, an accumulation place, in many people's view. Okay, people can also look at that as, oh my God, it's going to go to zero and it's going to completely disappear. That's why you need to be diligent yourself, right? Don't take other people's word for it. Don't take my word for it. I'm going to show you some resources, some areas where you can use them on a daily basis to do your own research, okay? So it takes a little bit of time, and that time can be peace of mind. So don't look at price. Look at actuality. Look at different things other than price, because these aren't securities, these projects, these tokens. These aren't just things that you're investing in to gain some value in price. I mean, they have a massive utility. And that's, I think, the difference between holding a stock, a share of a company, or holding tokens, like, having some stake, having some tokens in the MELD protocol, for instance, here. Okay, so that's how I look at things. I look at the utility, right? I'm not interested in just getting involved with MELD and in a year or whatever, just dump my bags and leave and try to make all these gains financially. I'm interested in supporting something that is revolutionizing the way that finance works, the way that banking works, borrowing and lending dynamics work, that is truly doing something innovative in the world at large. And I'd rather be involved in something like that than try to sit here and scalp gains back and forth. Okay, and I know there's many people out there that just focus on trading and what have you, and the best of luck. This channel is focused on value. We're focused on being a part of something that is truly disrupting the industry in a positive way, right? Every time industries go through a disruption, it helps humanity in some cases, in most cases, for the better. And I think that, and I believe that what MELD is trying to achieve fits in that category of helping humanity out in a way, helping us common folk out all the way to the institutional level, the enterprises. Okay, as we look at the world of finance, it can be very confusing. And so let's look at their website. That's the first place I like to look. I like to look at their website. I like to look at their documents. I like to look at their white papers. I like to join their Discord. I like to communicate in the Discord. I like to check out their NFTs to see what they have as far as their NFTs. I like to look at their roadmap. This is all what I would call, and not me, but this is what fundamental analysis is. And so instead of just relying on price and price action, that's more of technical analysis, and that's very important, and I do very much understand that, and I don't put videos out about my technical analysis. I put videos out about fundamental analysis, because if you really nail down the fundamental analysis, like the team, the project, the community, you get that right, the technical analysis, in my experience, tends to help that situation out, right? So you'd be less concerned about what the technicals are going to produce as far as gains and price action. If the fundamentals are right, that'll take care of itself. If the fundamentals are wrong, team's kind of weird, right? People are kind of shifty, then the technicals are going to drop. Okay, so first order of business is technical analysis. Now let's look at their website. We're going to take you through their website real quick. I'm going to show you some partnerships and show you some things that really stand out to me as being a continuing powerhouse of a reason why I feel like this project is relentlessly working hard to produce something valuable to the community and not just delaying the inevitable tragic ending of their protocol. Okay, so you got to look at their website. Let's check out their website here. All right, this is their website, MELD.com. Okay, Web3 banking stack. This is a website. If you've watched my other video, they got, I took you through their website again. It's the same sort of thing. If you're new to this, check out their website. You can click on all these links and understand the roadmap, okay? It's a beautiful website. It's a great website. They got the app, they got the ecosystem up here, the NFTs, like I said, docs, okay, the MELD token, the team, and it's very impressive, okay? So scroll through. I'm not going to sit here and analyze every aspect of this website, right? I'm just kind of showing you what you can look at. Ken, the chief astronaut. You got the CEO, you got a bunch of these team members. Daston, he writes a lot of the Medium articles. I'll take you to a few of those, the Dev Diaries, and that is the team. So I like to search all of these individual people individually and just see for yourself what you think of them, what their history is. And here are some advisors, okay? And this is just very positive. Like, for instance, I'm supporting the DEGA ISPO right now. I think the DEGA protocol is doing fantastic things. And Carlos Rene, right? He is the CEO of DEGA. And that's a green light for me. That's a very positive sign that Carlos Rene is one of the advisors to the MELD protocol. And look at their partners, okay? I mean, come on, Polygon, World Mobile, Cornucopia, Swing Riders, MinSwap, right? To name a few. They have a lot of investors, right? They're backed by a lot of people. They're in the press, right? Doesn't really seem like there's much here to indicate to me that there's some sort of like funny business going on. All right, and I have the documents open here. These are the MELD docs. Okay, welcome to MELD. This is the documentation library. You go through the introduction. You can check out what they got going on as far as supplying, borrowing, and then if you keep browsing through this document here. I'm not going to take you through this word for word. In fact, I think the white paper is like 91 pages long. You just move through. You go to contact, right? These are their social media handles. Okay. You'll go to the about. and just to try to wrap your mind around what's going on. And see, when I get questions and I get concerns from potential investors that I talk to, they don't do this work, right? They're not going into these like documents to understand and read for themselves what's going on. So they kind of take the word of something on social media more than this, because it's easier to go ahead and go on social media and just make your conclusion and draw up your conclusions from social media. It's not the way to do it. You really need to go into the actual documents. You get a lot of information out of the documents as far as do they even have documents, right? And are they sound? And the white paper is a must. Anybody who's not reading a white paper on a project that they're getting into is not doing proper due diligence, best practice due diligence, right? And yes, I think this thing is, like 90 pages long here. Okay, but here's the table of contents. I mean, they have the summary, the scorecard, what they stand for, the background. Okay, all of this information, competitive landscape, technology, tokenomics. MELD is really trying to accomplish things that most of these other blockchains are not dealing with, and especially in the lending and borrowing banking space. Okay, they're trying to achieve a tremendous amount. The decentralized autonomous organization. Okay, that's in the V1 structure. Okay, and again, here you go. All you simply need to do is go to the MELD website, right? And go into docs like that. Boom, and then you're over here where we just were, and just check it out and read this. For 5-10 minutes a day, you'll be able to get through this. Or if you have more time, read for an hour. Okay, read for an hour, and you'll get these documents down. You'll start to understand the project more and more, and you can block out a lot of the naysaying or fudsaying or whatever that's happening on social media. Okay, another thing I like to just show you is DEGA. We mentioned DEGA. I'm a big supporter of DEGA. They're doing wonderful things. There's an ISPO going on right now. There's, I think there's about a dozen, but I think at least 10 more epics that you can have, that you can delegate to the DEGA 1 stake pool and get into their ISPO. Okay, and like you go into About Us again, right? White paper, the whole 9 yards. This isn't an advertisement for DEGA, but I want you to understand that. See, Ken Oling here, okay? We just saw him as the chief astronaut over there at MELD. He is also an advisor to DEGA. And so I think there's going to be a really fantastic relationship going on with MELD, not just with DEGA, but with a lot of enterprises. And often my experience with these projects that are operating slowly and methodically, like Cardano, right? Like Genius Yield, and like a lot of these blockchains, these 3rd generation blockchains, even 4th generation Web3 platforms, like are moving slow and methodical because there's a lot of stake. There's a lot at stake, is what I'm trying to say. It's like literally people's lives, people's money. We cannot go through all these hacks and craziness that happens in the world of DeFi, where lives are ruined, right? I'd rather be a part of a project that is concerned with safety rather than something that just wants to come out to market right now and be available, but they sacrificed measures that would be safer just to get out to market. And then all of a sudden there's all these hacks, right? So the slow, calm, methodical approach that really Cardano was unique in beginning its process, where yes, it had a roadmap schedule and it wasn't really nailing those road marks down. and taking a little bit longer, and then everybody was like, well, this is a ghost chain and this doesn't have any value, and people were just like hating on Cardano all over the place. I mean, still on the Ethereum side of things, people still are hating on Cardano. It's absolutely boggling, because yes, they might miss their roadmap deadlines, but they're delivering these fantastic innovations in blockchain and crypto overall that literally are setting the bar at a place where these other chains are going to have to move up to, in my opinion, because there's so much at stake. So do you want to be a part of a project, of a protocol that's taking time to deliver quality, even though it's not exactly when you want it to happen? And yeah, it's tough, man. It's hard to be patient and wait and understand the full scope of what's happening behind the hood, like underneath the hood. And that's what I see with MELD. They're building underneath the hood. They're developing underneath the hood. You can look at their developing. You can go to Gitbook. You can check this stuff out if you're really interested. You can really understand what they're doing. You know, are they just hanging around, or what's happening? And when they're building quietly under the hood like this, to me as an investor, it's a great time to get in and think about what it's like to accumulate, right? These tokens at these prices. And so, not financial advice, right? I have to always say that. You do your own research, you do your own due diligence. But it could be that, man, when they do come out and they do launch out, this could go on a tear upwards with price volatility. Okay, so just on that same note of slow and calm and methodical, I put out a video a while back about like scams and rug pulls and things like this, and as far as projects that are just like going out and lives at stake and all of this. And what I want to show you here is, this is DeFi Llama. So I'm always on DeFi Llama. You should check DeFi Llama out. They're great. I have it pretty much. I'm always like looking at the Cardano, but they have every chain. This is a fantastic resource. Okay, and yeah, the Indigo, boom, 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 all the way down, and then you're going to see MELD down here, ready to pop off. Okay, ready to pop off. I mean, I remember when Liquid was down here, and a lot of these other chains were down here. So here we go. MELD is going to pop off, right? Genius Yield's down here too, right? Like, this really doesn't represent the actuality of what's going on with the project. Okay, just give it some time. What I do want to draw your attention to, and excuse me for my voice because I'm going through a little bit of a process of sort of like a cold and things like that. So if you see me kind of scuffle with my voice, just please give me some grace as I'm trying to put this video out in the midst of a couple meetings I have today. But like, look down here with the hacks. Okay, this is something that I don't know if you're aware of. Okay, this right here from DeFi Llama is like, it shows hacks that happen, dates. Okay, so November 10th, there was a classification, like what happened, classification based on whether the hack targeted a weakness, infrastructure, smart contract language, protocol logic, or interruption between the ecosystem. So it sort of gives a classification to the hack. Okay, it talks about the chains that were involved in the hack, and then the technique. Okay, and then the amount. Okay, the amount that lost. So on November 10th, okay, 2023, like not that long ago, 11 days ago or whatever, a couple weeks ago, $126 million were lost due to an infrastructure situation. Infrastructure. Do you want to be part of, does MELD want to be part of an infrastructure breach where they're losing all this money? And if you go down here and you look at all these breaches, these hacks, okay? Look at the chains: Ethereum, infrastructure, private key compromise, okay, unknown method, 2.4 million, okay, 228,000 over here, $8 million, infrastructure. September 25th, Ethereum, okay, Mixin, Avalanche. Okay, look at all of these hacks, and the price is $55 million, private key thing, you know, like look at this. Ethereum, right? Look at all this rug pull, base or whatever, right? Comodex, ecosystem, infrastructure, protocol logic, You can just go down here and check this out if you have never seen this before, or if you're on DeFi Llama and you didn't know that this was here. Look at it. Look at these. Okay, Binance Smart Chain. You have Ethereum. Okay, infrastructure. I was looking for a rug pull. There's a rug pull. Drain contracts. Okay, $3 million there. Arbitrum. Okay, and so what you don't see here is Cardano. I don't see Cardano, and I have never seen Cardano on here. And I've researched all the way back to the very beginning into where DeFi Llama has been aggregating. Okay. I see a lot of Ethereum. Okay. Frankly, I see a lot of Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. I see, unfortunately, it's insane how much money, when you add it all up, is taken away. 326 million. Remember this one? Okay. Solana, Protocol Logic. Wow. These are people's lives here. This is money. This is real money. This is real money. Rug pull again. Binance Smart Chain. Boom, 10 million bucks. That it just sucks. Okay? And so you just keep on going down the list if you're not certain. You know what I don't want to see on this ever would be MELD, to be honest, right? I don't want to see Ava Labs, MLab. I don't want to see any of the protocols that I'm putting my hard-earned money in. I don't want to see any of them over here. Okay, I don't want to see them coming in the future. And so you kind of get the point. All right, protocol logic. So it's not a game. It's not a game. This is real. This is real life. This is real money. This is real serious, and that's how I take it. At least I'm not interested in being a part of some of these projects that are rushing to ship their app or whatever, and then okay, there's a breach and an exploit, and your tokens are over here, and you're going through some bridge, or you're investing, or what have you, and that the DApp goes down. I mean, you're lending, you're supplying, or you're borrowing, or what have you, and then boom, where's it go? It's gone. It's gone. Your money, your $100, $1,000, $10,000, gone. $1 million, gone. That's not something I'm interested in. So on the one hand, yes, I could find myself a little bit like, wow, okay, I mean, man, MELD, like, what's going on? You've been doing so much. Okay, with the ISP, it was a long time ago. Okay, we went through the staking. That was fun. Now we have staking promised in December. Like, when's the thing coming out? Okay. I could feel myself feeling impatient. And then when I feel like that, I must say to myself, well, it's better than being the victim of one of these hacks that I just showed you. Okay, and that's not all of them probably. And what you don't want to see is the project you're invested in that hack. And so that's a big reason why Derek on Chain, Crypto Fluency, we focus on Cardano blockchain, because of the security. Okay, way back when I realized about Cardano, the whole entire method of Cardano, the whole entire thesis moving into Cardano, which was blasphemy to these other friends that I had that were involved in crypto, to think of Cardano. The whole theory was about security. Again, because I'm not interested in just trying to make these moonshot gains here and there and whatever. I'm interested in being in these projects for 10, 20, 30 years down the road. And I still want my accounts to be solvent. I don't want to be involved in these hacks and this negative sentiment that happens with these projects. I mean, it's over $10 billion or $7 billion or more the other year. It was like, I think in 1 year with the Ethereum blockchain. Come on, and I don't want MELD to be a part of it. And that's just a long-winded explanation coming out of me to try to make you understand that what I think that they're doing the most brilliant is making sure that these bugs and these fixes are happening, so that they're able to deliver a product that's going to be magnificent, because if they do come out after all this time and something happens and there's a breach, guess what? It's going to be a tragic situation. And so the last thing I'll show you before we get out of here would be one more resource that you can check. So I highly recommend you all go on their Discord, because from the Discord, okay, from the Discord you will get like an announcement will happen, and boom, you'll see these dev diaries. Dastin Adamowski is the he's writing these dev diaries. Look at 63. This is 63rd dev diary, and like, to be honest, I'm like, okay, I get it. They're all here. There's a lot of them, but if you're unaware of these dev diaries, or you're too cool to like read them, this is only a 3-minute read. They're only like 3-minute reads, and I'll show you the Discord so you can see what I mean. Okay, here we are, Discord, right? You're on MELD. Okay, you can go to their Discord from their website, which is what I always recommend, and then you go to the announcements. Here's the last announcement. Dev Diary 63. And I always love to browse their announcements. Here's another Dev Diary. They're constantly putting out the Dev Diaries, right? You can check this, right? You can look at this and become a part of these events and listen from the founder's mouth himself, okay, what he's actually talking about, and not just take someone's word for it who might be spreading FUD on social media. So when we look back at the Dev Diary here, 63, it's wonderfully written. Okay, here is the MELD DApp web, carried out the final phase of ADA testing and staking. Okay, continued development of MELD liquid locking. Again, I'm not reading this whole thing, just kind of showing you that there is a lot going on. Investigated several issues reported by the community, right? Because they're in their testnet right now, right? MELD, the MELD mobile, look at this, changed this, worked on that, improved this, and the flow, added blockchain support, blah, blah, blah. It's a ton of stuff. They have fixed bug on this, bug lookup, application. Okay, it seems like they're hard at work, and they're putting these out at least every week. Fixed, Ethereum virtual machine native token indexer bug. I mean, it's pretty robust, and I scour through these dev diaries every single time they come out, and it's always ended with a positive sentiment. We deeply appreciate your steadfast support, which remains a cornerstone for us. Your feedback holds immeasurable worth as we persist in our pursuit of innovating and perfecting the MELD DApp. Stay tuned for a series of forthcoming updates in the weeks ahead. Okay, so I hope that's some good food for thought that you can take. You can do with it what you wish. I hope that you're inspired to look at those documents and read those documents, and joining the Discord, the social media channels, listening to some of the videos, so you can hear from Ken himself, you can hear from other people what's going on as far as the true nature of the inside baseball of what's happening with MELD. And what I will say to you is that sometimes the hardest thing to do is to actually do nothing. And let me just clarify that for a second. Sometimes what you need to do is nothing, okay, as far as what to do with your tokens. And that's difficult sometimes, right? And the urge to trade them into this, or to move them over here, to do something, or to sell them and capitulate out. Yeah, those thoughts could be swirling through your mind. But sometimes the most strategic thing to do is to actually sit and do nothing with your position. And we could look at Warren Buffett, the master of that. I mean, he literally built his entire enterprise of practicing that, where what was the investment he was in? 12 years he sat with the investment, and no one understood. Now you look back and you're like, wow, I mean, who could sit for 12 years and realize something powerful would happen that nobody else could really understand? And so on one hand, it's doing nothing, right, with maybe your position, but you're doing a lot, actually. You're reading a lot. That's what Warren Buffett, I went to the Berkshire Hathaway conference, the annual meeting in 2018. I was privileged to be invited to go to that annual conference. I don't have any Berkshire Hathaway shares, but I'm friends with some individuals that have the shares, and I was able to go and listen to Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett field questions all day long on the weekend. It was great. I met so many people, and I learned so much about the power of what we're talking about right now. On one hand, you're steadfast, okay? And on the other hand, you're reading. And so that's what Warren Buffett said. He said the most successful thing you can have in a business, the most successful asset you could have in a business is an 80-year-old guy reading all day long. And that's what they did. They just read all day long. Warren Buffett is notoriously known for sitting all day long and reading. What is he reading? He's reading financial papers. He's doing his fundamental analysis on these projects. He's researching the management. He's researching the team. He's researching the markets. He's researching how he can innovate. And this is what we're doing. We're reading these documents. We're reading. We're analyzing. We're doing our fundamental analysis. And as we're doing that, we're in position, right? We're in position with our stack, and we're in position. And so that's why you're looking at it every single day. You're looking at it day to day to day. Because if something wild and crazy or funny or very bizarre and weird happens, you are in the know of what's going on. So you might then move your position because something doesn't look right. And that has happened in other projects that are completely different. Like Cardano was a big one there in my portfolio that I needed to recognize. And because I'm looking at these projects every single day and keeping up to date with what's going on, you can make those decisions with a sound mind and not just a knee-jerk response to somebody's comment on social media or what have you. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. I would suggest staying up to date yourself, okay, being involved in these projects yourself so you can have your own clarity of mind. Okay, there's nothing more powerful than your own clarity of mind. All right, and I hope the best for MELD. I'm here, I'm in it to win it. I'm in it to support MELD. I can't wait to get into their DApp. I can't wait to get into their staking. Had much success staking with them in the past. It'll be great to stake back with them coming this December here, and I cannot wait to deploy the diamond hands and get involved in the NFTs and be able to actually use their app and the mobile and to see where MELD ends up. Okay, so it's all a matter of time. All good things in time, right? And I thank you for your attention here in this video. I look forward to bringing you another video here soon. Enjoy. Thanks. Bye.